Hi friends, Cole Chance here. Thank you so much for joining me today in Ubud, Bali, and we are actually at my house. This is my porch and our yoga studio for the day. We're in rainy season, which sometimes it rains a ton, sometimes it rains just a couple hours a day. This is the first time I've been here during the season, so it's quite different than the really energetic, really bustling, super busy Bali during the high season. So this is the low season. It's a lot more locals. Everything's more quiet. There's not traffic. It's really relaxing and just kind of time to go inside, to chill, to eat a lot. We've been eating really good food around here, but it's just so good to have the seasons, regardless of what or where you are. It's just good to have change. So welcome that. That is the one constant. But today I wanted to do yoga basics. So beginners yoga here. And remember, the beginners is a subjective term. So this still may be a little more than your body is ready for, or this may be quite more review for you, which is also a good place to always come back and review. So wherever you are today, do what you can, leave what you don't like, and let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with the knees apart, the feet together and the arms long. So this is a version of child's pose, but it's quite different than traditional child's pose. So let's start this way. This is actually, we're finding an extension of the back. And we'll make this active by pressing down into the toes, pressing down into the tops of the feet. Reaching the arms long and bringing the heart forward. Then you can drop the forehead. Really getting a big active extension. Begin to become aware of the breath. On your inhale, see if you can breathe into this back heart, kind of in between the shoulder blades. Also breathing, inhaling into the side ribs, as well as the front. So we're getting really a 360-degree puff up. And exhale, heart sinks. Coming up onto the fingertips, making this even more active. Come up onto the fingertips and then pull the shoulder blades back into the socket. So we're reaching out, the same time we're pulling in. Coming over to the left, taking right hand over left hand. Getting long extension, right side body. Staying close to the breath. And moving over towards the right side. Left hand now comes over the right hand. And come back to center. Walk the hands towards the hips so that you're coming into a seat. Bring the hands to heart center, close the eyes down. Whatever it is that made you unroll your mat today, find some gratitude. And remembering that this is a practice, and it's really not about self-improvement or changing who we are, but coming into relationship with who we are as we are. Really about acceptance. Inhale, open the eyes, open the arms up, gaze up, hands up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Once more, inhale, gaze up, hands up. And exhale, plant the hands, tabletop. Drop the belly, bring the heart forward, gaze up, inhale, cow pose. So really pushing into the ground here. Pulling the hands back towards the knees a little bit, that helps to bring the heart through. Tailbone goes up, belly goes down. So to reverse this, we push the ground away. We pull the belly in
to the spine goes to the sky, and the tailbone goes down towards the ground. Cat pose. So actively pushing away, getting stretch on the back side of the body. So we'll begin to move with breath. So inhale, tailbone floats up, belly drops down, heart and chin come forward, gaze up. Exhale, cat pose. I invite you to close your eyes here and begin to move with your breath. Cat-cow is just a really nice building block. Really good to begin to articulate the spine. I've heard it said that, it's really not your age in years, but it's really the health of your spine that ages you. So trying to move the spine in every direction in our practice. Let's bring the left hand under the gaze. The right arm comes up to the sky, so the heart will spiral open. And exhale. Bring the shoulder all the way down to the ground. Left arm can come up towards the top of the mat. Another option is that it goes over towards the right side of the mat. This will deepen the twist a little bit. Breathing wherever you are. Pulling belly in. Inhale, the left arm reaches up, gaze up towards the thumb. Exhale, plant the left hand, push the ground away. As you inhale, we'll unwind all the way to the right hand coming up high. And exhale, hands down, tabletop. So we can move the right hand underneath in the middle for balance here. Inhale, left arm reaches up, spiral the heart open. And exhale, thread the needle, shoulder comes down to the ground. The right arm can come up to the top of the mat, up onto the fingertips, or you can kind of finger walk over towards the left side of the mat to get a little bit deeper. Pull the belly in, pull the shoulders away from the ears. We tend to crunch here. It's really easy to crunch here. So a couple things to think about. And when you're inhaling, know that you're inhaling. And when you're exhaling, be aware of that exhale. Next inhale, right arm lifts, gaze up towards the thumb. Exhale, plant the hand as you push the ground away. We unwind the left arm all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, plant the hand. Let's bring the knees together. Send the hips back to the heels. Bring the hands down by the side. Child's pose. So this is the traditional child's pose. You notice the roundness of the back. When the way that we started with the arms out, it's actually an extension of the spine, so actually a different pose. So whichever one feels better to you, the variation or this traditional pose, this is always a welcome place to come back to. If you just need a rest or you just need to come back to your breath, either one of these versions will work. If you tend to have any back pain, this option may be a little bit better for you. But we're all unique, so just know that you have options. Begin to reach the fingertips forward, and we're going to come all the way down to the belly. You can bring the hands out by the side. We're going to bring the toes together. Press the toes together. As you glide the heels away from each other, that begins to have a little bit of internal rotation. So I'll say that again. As you press the toe mounds together, bring the heels apart. Feel that internal rotation. Beautiful. Bring the hands onto the fingertips. Push the ground away. Bring the right shoulder down to the ground. So keeping the legs active. Inhale, bring the chest up. Exhale, left shoulder down. Inhale up. Exhale, right shoulder. So keep moving with the shoulders. And I also want you to focus on activation of the legs. So again, Reignite the toe mounds, pressing in towards each other as you drive the heels apart. This keeps the legs active and that internal rotation. Once more on the left side here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, center. And exhale, release the upper body, release the lower body. Bring the right cheek to the ground. And shake the hips out here. Plant the hands under the shoulders. Bring the shoulders away from the ears. Chin to the ground. Again, bring the toe mounds together. Pressing actively, heels coming apart. We'll move up the legs. Pull the kneecaps up. Press the pubic bone down into the ground. You can already start to feel how that lifts the torso. Next, inhale. Bring the chest up. Little or no weight in the hands. Just baby cobra. Exhale. Release. Left cheek on the floor. You can release the arms. This is really waking up the backside of the body. And again, plant the hands underneath the shoulders. We'll start down at the feet, pressing toe pads together, driving heels apart, lifting the kneecaps, pressing the pubic bone down into the ground, igniting the belly, and then lifting the chest. Let the shoulders come away from the ears. Feel the strength of the back body. And then press into the hands. We'll press back. Child's pose. Bring the hands down by the shins. Bring the arms out in front. Tuck the toes. Press the hips back, downward facing dog. Begin to pedal the feet out. Let the heels be heavy. I'll just take a moment here, set up, downward facing dog. Fingertips are wide. All knuckles pressing into the ground. You can look at your fingers and even see that some of it starts to get white from the pressing. A lot of times we like to put the weight just into this, the thumb pad, which can really begin to hurt the wrists. So be sure that you're pressing with all fingers like a gecko. You can draw the forearms towards each other slightly, get some activation. Pull the belly in, bend the knees slightly, send the hips to the back of the room. And let the heels be heavy. They do not have to touch the ground. They're just going in that direction. Inhale, we'll come forward to plank pose. Shoulders over the wrist. So you shouldn't have to move your hands and your feet when you go from downward facing dog to plank pose. So if you need to adjust, go ahead. I might need to lengthen out just a little bit here. And we'll move in between the two. So we'll bend the knees, not all the way to the ground. Push the hips back. Exhale. Inhale, come forward, come up onto the toes and bring the torso forward, plank pose. Inhale. So the heart comes forward, the heels go back, shoulders away from ears. Inhale here. Exhale, bring the knees towards the ground as you press away, hips high. Once more. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Begin to slowly walk the feet up towards the top of the mat. Bend the knees generously. You can even let the belly come to the thighs. Grab opposite elbows. Hips can be as wide as, the feet can be as wide as you need to feel stable. And just find some movement here. So maybe bending one leg and then the other, whatever feels nice. Let the arms just hang, and we're going to roll up really, really slow here. So begin to press into the feet. Really press the ground away, and we're moving so slowly, letting the torso be super heavy as you roll up, one vertebrae at a time. No activation in the upper body. This is all moving through the legs. We slowly let the head come on top and then just begin to tuck the chin. We're going to come straight back down. So chin tucks, then shoulders round. Be sure to bend the knees. Come all the way down. Just kind of opening up some fascial lines here. Feels so nice. Once more coming up. Head coming on top. And open the eyes. Gaze down at the feet. About hips distance apart. So this will create stability here. Like we were doing whenever we were in cobra pose with the belly on the ground, the toes can be coming towards each other. If you feel stable here, you can bring the feet all the way together. But the heels have a little bit of a separation, and that helps to create some internal rotation in the legs. Really pressing down through the feet, lifting up through the arches, and let that lift extend all the way the inner legs. Pelvic floor muscles. So as if you were stopping the flow of pee that pulls up and in, belly comes towards the spine and up towards the heart. So everything's lifting up. Heart comes forward. Really strong mountain pose here, Tadasana. Inhale, lift the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, begin to bend the knees, and we'll pour all the way forward, forward fold. Hands can come to the ground, or they can come around the ankles, whatever is available to you. Inhale, we'll halfway lift. Again, hands can come to the ground, or they can come to the shins. So what we're looking for here is a lot of length. So tailbone, crown of the head, pulling away from each other. Belly comes in, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, fold forward. Twice more. Inhale, halfway lift. A little bit of that cobra pose in the back. Fold down. Once more. Inhale, halfway up. Plant the hands. Let's step back with the right foot. Bring the knee to the ground. Inhale, bring the torso up. As if you could draw the front heel with the back knee, as if you could energetically pull those together. It'll help to stabilize the core. Again, that pelvic floor muscle, the belly button, all of that center line help keep you stable here. Bring the left hand to the hip or to the ground or a block. We'll exhale, rainbow over towards the side. Inhale, spiral the heart open, gaze up. And exhale, reach a little bit more. Inhale, torso comes all the way up. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. Exhale will come all the way down to the ground. So you can bring your knees down first if you would like, or you could slowly bring everything down and try to let it hit at the same time. Untuck the toes. Shoulders away from the ears. We're going to come up into cobra pose. And exhale, release. Twice more like that. So bringing the toes together, pressing the pubic bone down as you inhale. Little no weight in the hands. Exhale. Once more, lift and inhale. And exhale, push the ground away. Child's pose, bring the hands down by the side. One inhale here. Full exhale. Reach the arms forward. Tuck the toes downward. facing dog. Let's begin to walk the feet up towards the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, bend the knees slightly, push the ground away, rise all the way up. And hands to heart center. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bow forward, slight bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Length from tail to crown. And exhale, left foot steps all the way back. Knee comes down to the ground. Inhale, torso lifts. That same activation of the front heel pulling back towards the knee. Pelvic floor, belly in. Let's bring the right hand to the hip or to the floor. Exhale, reach over towards the right side. Big side body stretch. Moving the spine laterally. Inhale, open the heart towards the sky or the ceiling. Exhale here. Next inhale brings the torso all the way up. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. And exhale, either coming through the knees or coming all the way down so that everything touches at the same time. Untuck the toes. This time, let's bring the hands clasped behind the back. Roll the shoulders up and down. Down and back. Sorry, that makes more sense. Down and back. Pull the fist towards the feet. Inhale, we'll lift up. And let's stay for a few rounds of breath here. Again, drawing toes together as you bring heels apart. Pubic bone into the ground. As if you could snake the heart forward a little bit. Maybe even more forward than up. One more inhale. Plant the hands. Press back. Child's pose. Exhale. One round of breath here. In and out. Bring the arms in front of you. We'll find our way to downward facing dog. Gaze towards the hands. Step forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, push the ground away as you lift all the way up. And hands to heart center. Take a big step back. We'll take the toes wide and the heels together. And bending down into bending the knees, sinking the hips low, goddess pose. Let's bring the hands to heart center here. See if you can lift the arches. This is a really strong pose. Lift the arches up. Press down through the pinky edge side of the foot and press the hands into each other. Just take some little pulses here. Maybe you close your eyes. Just a little bit of strengthening here. And same thing, pulling up on the pelvic floor, pulling in and up on the belly. And just feel the strength from this pose. Actively pressing in both hands into each other. Inhale, press the ground away to straighten the legs. Inhale, arms up. This time, toes in a little bit, heels out a little bit. You can bend the knees just slightly. We're going to fold forward, bring the hands down. Bring the head all the way towards the ground. You can bend the knees as much as you need. Again, make sure the toes are turned in just a little bit. Hands can be in line with the feet. Inhale, halfway lift. So push the ground away. Find that little bit of cobra in the back. And exhale, fold forward. Let's walk the hands over towards the right side. So it's kind of just doing a forward fold over one leg. If you'd like to take a twist here, you could open up the right arm. Just an option. You can stay right where you are. And begin to move towards the left side or the other side. Just moving and breathing, feeling in to what's going on in your body. If you'd like to take the twist here, you can open up that left arm. Wherever you are, we'll come back to center. Take the hands on the hips. Begin to gaze forward with a slight bend in the knees. Press the ground away to lift the torso all the way up. Let's walk the feet in to center. And let's come into a standing balance. We'll come into tree pose. So really spreading the toes on the right foot. Begin to lift the left leg. So you can take a moment just pulling the knee into the chest. And then we'll begin to open the knee up to the left, placing the foot on the inside of the right leg. So you can bring it up onto the thigh. You can bring it down to the calf, or you can even just kind of have it on the inside of the ankle and have the knee coming out. So lots of different options right here. I invite you to gaze at something that's not moving, so maybe not looking at me, maybe just listening to my voice and looking at something else. Pressing the hands actively into one another as you press the foot into the leg. So it's kind of bringing everything to core. Again, like I talked about, the pulling up on the pelvic floor, pulling in and up on the belly, all of these things that we talked about earlier are really going to help in this balancing pose. Shoulders down and back. Maybe you open up the arms. One more big inhale here. Exhale, bring the leg down. And we'll switch sides. So bringing the left toes, maybe pull the toes up, spread them, bring them back down, making the biggest base that you can, big roots here. And then bringing the right leg up. Pulling the kneecap up on the standing leg. Just wanting to be really strong there. And then we'll open up and make a tree. So the right foot can go again on the inner thigh, on the calf or down by the ankle, but don't put it by the hip. Don't put it by the knee. Pressing pinky edge side of the foot into wherever it's touching on the leg. Pressing palms together and gazing at something that's not moving. All of these little things will help you balance. And invite in any shaking that's happening that's helping your muscles figure out where they are in space. Proprioception. Maybe opening up the arms. One more big inhale. And exhale, release. Let's go ahead and come all the way down to the floor. Take Bakasana, so bringing soles of the feet together. Knees are wide. You can bring the hands around the ankles. Roll the heart forward, the shoulders down and back, finding lots of space. Seeing if you can find even more space between the hips and the ribs, so really expanding tall. Reaching opposite directions, the crown of the head and the tail. Just like when we're doing a halfway lift, we're always creating more space, so we're always extending. Maybe you begin to come forward. The elbows can rest on the knees, on the inside of the thighs if you'd like. So 2 different options here. You can take an active pose and really maintain the length. Pulling heart forward on an inhale, exhale, moving heart down. Or if you'd like to take more of a restorative pose, you can begin to round the back. We'll just take a few rounds of breath here. So whichever variation that you'd like to take. You're still breathing. You're still aware of your breath. Let's take one more big round of breath together. Inhale. Exhale, side out the mouth. Next inhale lifts you up. Bring the ankles in. Just easy seated pose, Sukhasana. Close the eyes down. Bring the hands to the knees. Finding length in the torso. Thank yourself for showing up for you today. Thank your body for everything that it does for you. Bring your hands to heart center. And remembering that this is a practice, that every time we come back to our mat, we get to learn something new about our body, about the way that our mind works. All the different layers. So if we can stay aware, maintain curiosity, lightheartedness, we're quite fascinating creatures. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thumbs to the third eye, we'll bow forward to close the practice and say, Namaste. Thank you all so much. Please like and subscribe this video and leave any comments and questions that you have about this practice. I would love to connect with you on here. And also check out my website, colechanceyoga.com. Have several really exciting retreats coming up and some events, so please check it out. I would love to connect with you live as well. Thanks for joining us at Om Yoga Tribe. Namaste.